Hi ladies, my Tinkas. I don't really have a name for you guys. I feel like I like Tinkas. It's just something that I call my girlfriends now, but like, oh, hello. Anyway, I have my coffee and actually I can include the recipe like somewhere. I don't know. I'm in my late luteal phase and the icons will be here. It's gonna be on this side. Yeah. But anyway, it's taking me a lot to even record this because I feel like I'm in that weird stage of being a content creator where like there are certain topics that I want to do, but because I don't have a very big like support group or community base, I feel like I feel like some things can wait till I'm bigger. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like certain things that somebody that's already a really big creator, she could easily post like a spend the day with me, get ready with me, blah, blah, blah. Like not a boring topic, but a more common topic. And she would get like numbers and comments and great feedback because you already know her compared to somebody that has like maybe 15 followers, 15 subscribers or whatever, and she does the same topic, but you know it's not likely that she's going to get that same feedback because nobody even knows her. But point is, we're still going to try. And the thing is, I have to learn to be more appreciative because I feel like 40 subscribers, where I'm at right now, 40 subscribers is a lot of people actually. Like if I'm nervous to talk in front of the camera that is servicing and posting for 40 like followers, subscribers, I can't imagine doing it for 100. I can't imagine doing it for 1,000. Like people get really big and they're like, oh yeah, just yapping and having fun. Like it's a great thing when you can get the pressure off of you. But honestly, if I had to speak in front of 40 people on the stage, I'd probably hurl because that's not me. I'm the brains behind anything. Please don't put me on the stage like ever. I wanted to do my makeup while I talk about the first topic because the first topic is extremely heavy. Listen to these words, right? Everything that we do will either have a positive or negative effect in our lives, but it will always reflect your self-love or how you love yourself. And I'm not a poet. I did just think of that. Yes, I did. Ladies, please. But it's true. I feel like you ever have a friend in high school or you know even in your adult life where she'll tell you like, hey, I got back with this dude. I know you told me, you know, blah blah blah, but I just can't get away. Or hey, you know, I know I wrote that split. I know I wrote that routine, and I haven't started. It's been like 3 months. As long as that's not you, is all I'm gonna say. Because again, everything that we do in action reflects our self-love, okay? Everything that you're okay with letting slip, every person that you let pass your boundaries, they think that that's your normal. They think that that's okay, so they're going to keep doing it. But this isn't about that. It's about the fitness. We're talking about fitness, right? So put that same principle into fitness. I'm in my 20s. I am a content creator, obviously. I'm a woman. Another obvious statement. But I feel like that gets swept under the rug when we say that we're women because, you know, when you're in your teens, you hear often that you're going to have a second puberty in your 20s. Now, when, for me, will that happen? I have no idea. But the fact is, there's so many things that are in your 20s that are unpredictable. That it's like if you can find any ground, if you can find any consistency, any discipline, any foundation, establishment for anything, grasp onto that and run with it, especially if it makes you better. I feel like it's important as a fitness coach to be transparent, not only about like the good things, you know, PRs, the fact that you might have abs after 6 months, but just also the difficulties of life because as we're all imperfect, everybody has a worser day. Everybody has a bad day at some point. Everybody has that moment where they're like, man, I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have did that. Especially when it comes to eating. Go to a fast food restaurant when we know we just wrote a whole goal of doing 30 days no fast food. I did that. But when I am consistent and I have those good days and I like post or reflect about them, it's usually a result of the discipline that I have set forth for myself to have and to act on. More of like me putting down certain anchors to ground myself. But instead of calling them anchors, I'm gonna call them more maintenances, right? So since you're watching this and you might be in your 20s, or you might be about to be in your 20s, or you're coming from your 20s and you still haven't like set forth a disciplinary routine, I invite you to ask yourself, because this is what I ask myself every week: what parts of myself require regular maintenance if I want to feel like myself? I feel like that's a very deep question, because now you have to sit, reflect about who you even want to become, what it is that you like about yourself, what it is that you don't like about yourself. Because if you're answering this question and you're writing a routine, you're obviously not going to keep the same things that you don't like about yourself, or that cause you not to like about yourself. And you're gonna admit that you're not gonna keep that in your routine, because who wants to be discouraged all the time when you're looking in the mirror, or when you're waking up and you're like, man, I'm still this way, I still have this tendency, I still have this quality about myself. Like, take that out. Let's start with mental maintenance, because I feel like this one's really heavy and it's really long. I want to kind of review these in like me versus you concepts or takeaways, because I feel like if I'm just talking about myself, it's not going to be a video that you learn from. Mental maintenance. I hate being in a place where I feel like whatever's being said or being done is super unfamiliar. In my college classes, you know how, well, I don't know if you're in college or not, but in college, they normally go over the slideshow. The lecturer, the professor, normally has a slideshow prepared so that she just reads off of it and answers the questions during the lecture, right? And you have an option: read the textbook or do the slideshow. I always did the textbook because, again, that slideshow doesn't go over absolutely everything that's needed for the exam. And I don't like going into an exam room not knowing or feeling super confident in what I'm about to do, right? So if we take away that example and keep the principle and apply it to our lives, why wouldn't you want to do research about yourself to further understand how you feel? Or at least like why you feel some type of way, right? Like the emotional maintenance, which I'm going to get to later, is how we process what we're feeling. But we still have to at least acknowledge and even recognize what's happening. How do I sharpen my thinking? I have to, and I flourish, and I enjoy heavily doing women's research. Sleep cycles, cycle syncing, what else? Emotional and hormonal understanding. Women's research is a very big thing that I try to do, because how can I coach and train and teach somebody that signs with me or just ask me a random question if I don't know? Because a lot of the times the research that we have for health is from men about men. So ask yourself something like, what areas of your own health do you want to understand better? I like this one. Like, what does your ideal day look like, and what's your mental state when you're there? What does your mental state look like? Because say that you've gone through and you've done all the work, or sorry, all going down all the work, and throughout the entire time you didn't take care of yourself. You didn't take care of like how you're thinking, how you're viewing yourself. So now you're beaten down. And that's why a lot of the time, sometimes people that are celebrities are super depressed, because they just are so drawn to the work and so obsessed with making the money that they don't actually see themselves as somebody that needs to be taken care of. The reason that I want people to, or ladies, to ask themselves like, what part of your own health do you understand least, is because self-efficacy, or our confidence in the ability to do something, grows when we understand it more. Okay, so putting a label on something that you don't understand about yourself, like acknowledging what it actually is, and then working on it, like recognizing your weakness and then working on it, builds that confidence in yourself to be able to do something when something similar to that pops up in your life. So I mean, health and fitness goes really deep into this concept of like how I structure my 20s, because how do you structure your 20s? You're a person. You need to be prioritized. You need to prioritize yourself, your own mental state. Organizing my ideas. I have a whole framework and I'm using it right now. So if you see me looking down, it's because I can't necessarily go off script. But I mean, it's not a script. So all of this stuff that I'm talking about has been researched and simplified. Okay? Literally, this is just my ideas that I have to have. I have to have everything written down, because I feel like in my follicular phase, especially, there's another thing that I wouldn't even know was a thing and how it like plays into your life. But in your follicular phase, you have a lot of ideas. Okay, a lot of business ideas, you have the best business ideas. Sometimes you get them in the shower, sometimes you get them in your sleep, and you wake up and you write stuff down, you're posting notes or whatever, right? You have the best like game-changing ideas for look at the face. When you write things down and you plan it out for the week, it helps you stay disciplined when you know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, like what's the methodical approach, all this other stuff. And it helps me as a content creator especially. Something else that I'm trying to do is screen time, because I feel like everybody's so addicted to their phones. If you find yourself like waking up and the first thing that you do is reach for that phone, there's a problem. Not only because you might be somewhat addicted or in habit, so in habit that the first thing that you do is reach for that phone, reach for that dopamine, and start swiping before you even know how your day is gonna go, before how you even know if you have an ache. I think I put like an hour time limit on my Instagram and Pinterest, and sometimes I do find the days where, hey, I'm ignoring that message. I press ignore for today, and it ends up being like 3 hours. But it's not often, okay? Like, it's not often. And I find myself better, or at least like doing better, because I have that screen time limit. Like, there's nothing wrong with boundaries. Here's the thing: if you give people boundaries, give yourself also those boundaries, because sometimes the worst person about us is us. Another maintenance I would say would be our physical maintenance, which is an obvious, like, well, not what do you look like, but how are you maintaining your body, right? For this section, a lot of it, honestly, is dealt with your sleep. Like, your sleep is something that you would think is very minimal or affects the slightest bit of your lifestyle. Sometimes, like, we get into this thing where we're like, oh, I'm in my 20s, I have all this energy, I can go to bed at 11 o'clock and I can wake up at 3 o'clock, I can go work out, go party, go blah blah blah, do an all-nighter, and I work a corporate job. If I'm gonna be honest with you, my sleep is horrible. I'm trying to get it fixed right now, but our physiology affects our psyche. Our physiology tells us that something as little as sleep can distinguish us from them. Us and somebody that's consistently eating right, consistently at the gym, consistently doing the right thing. Okay, how does that work? Our sleep deprivation affects so many things for our bodies. Like, it causes our decision-making process to lag. We have fogginess in our brains, right? The motivation that will probably cause us to wake up and go to the gym or prioritize and make sure that you're eating all your meal preps in the day is now telling you, hey, it's okay to go eat a slice of cake. It's okay to not eat all your protein for today. It's okay. Like, all these things that are regulated and processed by our brain for the rest of our body, how can they do it successfully? How can our brains do it successfully if our brain isn't energized? Okay, absolutely everything that we decide to do is a reflection of our self-love. So, well, if you think that sleep just doesn't matter, but you catch yourself having goals, picking up goals and not being able to stick with them, I would say look at your sleep. Literally, 8 hours of sleep just does something to you. It really just does. It's for you. And the thing is, we have 24 hours in a day. You have 8 hours somewhere. And you know what the other thing is? It takes 7 days for your body to recover from one bad day of sleep. And I don't know how long you've been staying up. I don't know how long it is that you might be doing all-nighters. I don't know how many Celsius or energy drinks that you've been drinking that keep you up at night. I don't know how long you're doom scrolling on your phone at night. But we do know it takes 7 days for your body to recover from one bad day of sleep. I don't know. It moved me. I would say look at your priorities. So emotional maintenance, right? And I feel like a lot of people confuse that, because I was like, you know, your brain tells you the emotions and then your body is what's feeling it, but they kind of meshed together in my head for a second, and then I was like, wait, like, think about it more of like your cognitive thinking, and then like what's actually happening versus your body, your emotional maintenance, where your body is what's processing, your body is what's feeling it. Our mental maintenance, we want to focus on how do I sharpen my thinking, versus our emotional maintenance goes over how am I processing what I'm feeling. A lot of the times we get upset, we feel an emotion, right? Like, let's say we have a baseline happiness, just being mellow, right? Let's just say being mellow, just kind of like baseline, whatever, neutral. and then somebody upset us. So now we're like low, we've dipped from that line, we've dipped, right? And then we just have to resurface pretty quickly because either we have a job to do, we have a project to do in our job, we have just something to move past and move towards and move on with, and we haven't actually sat down and processed what even happened. Like, that gap is very big, and now it's like, who's gonna feel that other than you? Why wouldn't you be the one to sit down and help yourself see, oh yeah, I was upset because of this. I was also anxious, which made me be upset. Do a lot of organizing, and I know I was saying, or using that when it comes to my mental maintenance, as in keeping ideas organized. When I'm saying like I do a lot of organizing, I sit down and reflect over how my day went. What did I like about my day? What didn't I like about my day? Does anything in my day correlate with who I want to become in the next 5 to 10 years, in the next 1 to 5 years? So to answer a lot of those, I have a workbook, and I just do a lot of like talking. Like, one of the pages for my workbook, let me see. My workbook is entitled Becoming Heard Through Strength, okay? So I have an entire page specifically for my mindset, because I know reflection is very important. It's very important when it comes to identifying what happened and moving on, or at least keeping a guard up and keeping yourself protected. But you need to know what you want to protect about yourself and why, okay? So one of them is, where in your life have you already proven you're stronger than you thought? We don't give ourselves enough credit for the good things that we do or that we choose to do, and yet we are our biggest haters when we do the smallest mistake. That's not fair to you. So where in your life have you already proven you're stronger than you thought? Ways to love yourself is another concept that I have written down. Hobbies you love but stop doing. Nourish. This is something that I need to do myself. I feel like I picked up so many hobbies and I just haven't had the time to look at it, and that's usually my excuse. I don't have the time. I have all the resources in my house already. Think about a time you wanted to quit but didn't. What did you do instead of giving up? See what I'm saying? Reflect on the things that you won over. I feel like we easily move past the good things about ourselves, but then we linger on the negative aspects of the negative decisions that we made, and we become our biggest villain. That's awful. Because if anybody should get you to push, if anybody should get you to that goal and past it, it should be you. So you should also not be the one on the sidelines watching yourself saying you're doing a horrible job. There's a book that I'm reading. You know what? Where is it? I'm reading it, right? I try to read a little bit of it every morning. It's called Confidence, and it's a combination of how to feel more calm in situations, but then also it talks about like, where can we gain the confidence to even get in the situations that might make us not calm because we're trying to grow out of our comfort zone, basically. I got it while I was in speech class because I have really bad anxiety, and I still have it, about presentations. I just could not do it. I wanted to hurl every time, and my voice always shakes, and it makes me sound like I'm crying the whole time. I actually like everybody in the class. I just can't seem to speak in front of people. No, I can't find it, right? Oh, here it is. Okay. It says, when you hit that snooze button, you are telling your subconscious, I'm not ready yet. I don't want to tackle this day. You start your day by putting things off. Instead, set your clock for a designated wake-up time and stick to it. I can't tell if it was placebo or not. I haven't actually done it enough to where I'm like, yeah, this works. Saying I need more of something means you aren't satisfied with whatever it is that you need, and you're basically also saying, I'm not ready. I'm not satisfied. I'm not ready. I need something else, right? If you need help, you need something because you just don't have whatever it is that you're needing. If we take away the example of the fact that it's sleep, and we keep the principle of do it even when you don't want to, do it when you feel like you don't have enough, do it when you're not ready, especially when it comes to ourselves. This video, how do I structure my 20s, or how am I structuring, I can't remember the title. But again, like, this is for you, okay? So whatever it is that you need to do but you just keep pushing off, take away the fact that this example is talking about sleep. Your anxiety works in a way where if you allow your brain to repeat it, it'll grow. It's not that something gives us anxiety. It's the fact that we create that anxiety or that fear of the unknown in our own heads. Okay, it's like somebody can easily say, it's why I have a fear of public speaking, but somebody else could easily go up there and have fun. That event or that occasion of speaking on stage doesn't actually give you anxiety, because how do you have two different people with two different reactions to it? It's not the fact that the event is giving me anxiety. It's the fact that I'm in my head and I'm my own villain and I'm like, I can't do it. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video. There are definitely more to come. How consistent? How frequent? I don't know yet. Probably twice a week. We're gonna try to aim for that, especially with me being such a new YouTuber, which sounds so crazy to say out loud. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, I would say join the community because we would love to have you. I have the same name on all 3 platforms: TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And yeah, so I'll see you soon.